And welcome back to another week of Autism Talk. My name is Alex, and if you are a returning viewer, thank you for keeping on to join in. If you're new, hi there. So, every week I come forward with just thoughts that are on my mind, obviously related to our autism journey as parents. And this week, the topic that I'm going to kind of discuss is birthday parties. The last 2 years we have not had like a regular or whatever have you birthday party. Emmett did have a birthday party at 1, 2, and 3, but his 4th and 5th, he did have a birthday party. Doesn't mean we didn't have one, but it was literally us and him. Why did we not have one? Well, at the time when he was turning 4, I was 8 months pregnant with Sam, and I was on bed rest. So that was probably 50% of the reason we didn't have one, because I really would have been useless. And if you know me, I kind of like being, I'm not that great at being like the massive hostess, but I like to be on my toes and make sure everything's going good and stuff like that, and I wasn't able to where I was in bed rest. So that made that decision that year, as well as the other 50%, we literally decided that it would be too much for him. At the time, we were still struggling to go to family birthday parties. We turned down most of them. Sometimes, a lot of the time, that's taken in a negative way, but anybody that knows us and really knows us knows that we would certainly be there, but it was just too hard. He would be very secluded. He would be in a corner. It would be very loud. It would depend on what the party is, but obviously most parties are loud. With kids, you can certainly expect that. Kids are meant to make noise. So, yeah. And then last year, it was entirely that reason. Last year, for his 5th birthday, we just had a small party here, just us and him, and he still had his cake. Like, the thing with Emmett was he was completely and totally happy with this. Emmett is a child who does not need a lot to be happy. He's amazing, because at almost 6 years old, which is crazy in itself, he's just happy anyways most of the time. There's certainly a ton of hard moments, but there's the good outweighs the hard moments for me. So last year we didn't at all, because I didn't even create an event. I did nothing, because he just was really, I may have created an event actually. Now that I'm sitting here and I'm talking, I may have created one and then canceled it perhaps. Anyway, the overall decision was made, because last year it would have been way too much for him. He would have melted down. He would have been, like I said, would have secluded himself. He was very not into it. So my big thing this year, we are going to try another party this year. We are going to try and have a party for his 6th birthday just here at home. It'll be in September, so it'll be probably most likely we'll be able to be outside in the yard and stuff like that, which will help. But we feel like he's at that place. He can handle it, because we go to this place called the Play Palace or what have you, and it's like orangutan city, and I don't mean that against the kids, but it's crazy busy, and he's totally fine. Now, the first time, like a couple times, it took him a bit, and then now he's totally like in his own with it and totally fine. And if he can handle the Play Palace, he can handle a crowd at home, or at least a little crowd. Probably going to invite about 20 people, not crazy, and most likely when you invite people, you're not going to get everybody you invite, and that's kind of what was the sad part for us. For his 1st birthday party, he had a lot, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, I'm just telling it like it is. I can't help myself. I can't not jump into the reel here. His first birthday party, there was a lot. His second, it kind of got less. By the time we had his third party, it was a lot less. It was family, and that was about it. I was inviting, we had his third birthday party, I think we had it, at the fire hall, and I literally invited like 80 people. Like, I wanted to be like amazing, and I think that we had 15 people show up or something, 15 or 20 at the most. And he certainly didn't notice, and he honest to God didn't care. God love his heart. But I did as his mom. And it was kind of sad because I feel like in this way, because we didn't make it to a lot of events for friends and family at that point for sensory issues for him, that people didn't come because, and that's certainly not everybody. There was people who had valid excuses that would contact me and explain, because I mean, people work weekends and stuff like that. But there is still a small factor, I do believe, of because we didn't go, they're not going to come. And it's really sad, and it kind of gets to me a lot, because I think it happens to so many people, and it's not really fair. If people don't take the time to understand the reasoning, if you're just being ignorant, it's totally different. But when you have a kid who's going to get sensory overload from extremely loud music, and you know that that's what's going to be happening as you go, then it's kind of hard to explain that to people. And sometimes you explain it and you're not even heard, so you kind of feel hopeless that no one's going to really listen to you when you're trying to explain, just to make them understand even a little bit. So I'm putting on the armor this year, and we are going to do a birthday party. It's going to be Curious George, which he's obsessed with. Curious George has completely replaced Thomas, which I never expected. If your kid is in love with something for 5 years, you're just expecting it to kind of stick along, and it's very bittersweet. It's kind of this place of, it's kind of exciting, something new, and then at the same time, I'm kind of devastated that the Thomas train has kind of gone off. He certainly does still play with trains and that sometimes, but it's not at all what it was. It was like his world, and now that friggin' monkey is the world. So we've been diving into that, and that's what his party's going to be this year. We're going to have as many monkey and banana things and Curious George and everything else that we can, because we are not really a family that, like, we don't spoil our kids all the time with a ton of stuff, but we do big birthdays and big holidays. We don't spend a lot because I'm like a bargain hunter like crazy, but our presentation is pretty big. And of course, you post to Facebook, you get the judgment on that. You see where I'm going. You do whatever you want. We don't really get our kids much or anything at all in between Christmas, Easter, birthdays. Really nothing at all. Maybe the odd book or something, but us as parents don't really do anything. We mostly, I'm covering it there. We mostly do, kind of, there we go, we kind of do, I purchase from like January on, and then we have like a massive, I'm kind of doing less this year though. I did do a little bit less this year, like this past Christmas and stuff, and I'm going to go a little bit more this year. Not crazy. I believe that birthdays and holidays should be magical, and that's me. My parents did it for me growing up. I remember waking up to all the 101 Dalmatians and the Little Mermaid poster, and just amazing. It was just amazing. And if you know me now, there's a lot of people that say that makes a kid like materialistic and stuff, and I don't think that that's necessarily it if you have that thing for holidays and birthdays, depending on what it is, depending on your day-to-day life. I think that's all factors in that. As far as ourselves, I'm probably the least materialistic person you would ever meet, and I'm nowhere near perfect, but I could care less if something has a name. I actually had to ask somebody what Sephora was a few months ago. I found out what it was, and it didn't even raise my blood pressure. Like, it didn't even make me, I was like, okay, it's a makeup store. That's where I'm at. So, and Emmett's kind of the same. That's what I mean. Like, throwing celebrations for our kids is so exciting, anyways. But this is the first year we're going to step it up and see how a birthday party goes. And I'm kind of a wreck and I'm kind of good at the same time. I feel like we've stood our ground as far as we've been on a ground now and we realize who really gets it and who doesn't. And we have to kind of let go of what people think. You have to let go and just be kind of recognize that not everybody's going to understand, but those that do understand will be there. And they're the people that you want. Like at the end of the day, when I'm there and we're at his birthday party and I look around and everybody's happy and celebrating his birthday, and it's the same with Sam, we're going to just be so happy that they're there. And that's all we want. And the boys are very much, they're both the same in that way. They don't care who's there. They don't care what they get. They're just happy to be going around and enjoying everything going on, which is one of my favorite parts about them. So I'm going to cut it off here. I'm sorry about the fumbling of the phone. I bought the new pop socket things. I literally never follow any sort of trend. But there was one that has an Autism mama bear on it, and I had to buy it, and it was $2. So I had to get it. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Please share your birthday party stories below if you would like. So wish us luck on our first year of having a birthday party in 2 years, and we're going to hopefully it goes well, and we can keep doing that, because I am certainly not somebody who thinks that we need to be in a box and be normal, and normal's not even in my vocabulary, but I do hope that we can have a little something for Emmett and he will enjoy it. So I will talk to you soon.